What it do, YouTube? It's your boy MachineZo MachZody, MachineZo, however you want to call it, and we coming back with another react. Sorry I've been gone, sorry it took so long, but your boy B-Day just passed, June 21st. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate all the belateds. You know what I'm saying? More life, more life, more life. W to more life. But that's not what we here for. We are here because it is wartime. Lace your boots. We gonna react to war front because America has bombed Iran. Oh man, we gotta see what's going on. Subscribe to War Fronts if you want to check that out yourself. I am the chill life of Zoe, and we getting into the video. Let's go.
For the
we cranking up
crappy video and audio I am recording at home. I've ordered myself a better setup, so in the future this is all going to be a little bit better. Stay the
all good, my man.
Like
we gotta get the content.
Sunday, so
shout out to you.
Here we go. The United States of America has bombed the nation of Iran at approximately 2:30 in the morning local time in the mid-evening hours.
Oh my God, 2:30.
A group of B-2 stealth bombers and nuclear submarines carried out airstrikes against
2:30 in the morning and a missile hitting your shit like that? Woo, boy, US ain't coming to play, boy. Trump ain't fucking around. That boy, this some real gangster shit, bruh. Politics are the gangsters. Politicians, they the gangsters.
Facilities that are critical to the nuclear program of the Islamic Republic of Iran. According to the United States,
gotta crank this bitch up, bro. What a volume at?
Ruin. According to Iran, retaliation is on the way. Here's what you need to know about what happened, why the United States has become involved in the way that it did,
please tell
what
me.
comes next.
The
attack.
Oh, look at that.
Alright, so before we get into the details, so for
that
this stuff we got to be clear about
boy, that's like a law.
Everything that we discuss
in
this episode is accurate as of the best of our ability.
Picture me on your block.
And try to get it out as quickly as possible.
As the mid-morning hours bomber, nigga don't even know I'm on your block, nigga.
Local time.
Pull up, nigga, I'm outside in the stealthy.
Of course, we're going to make this episode as quickly as possible, but this is a rapidly evolving situation, and anything that has happened since that time is not going to be discussed here. We do intend to provide further reports as the crisis continues, so rest assured that we'll be back to discuss major changes when we can. With that settled, let's get into it. Also, huge shout out to Evan, who worked through the early hours of Sunday morning to get this done.
Shout out to
Morris, who helped coordinate it. Shout out to Jen, who's about to edit it. And shout out to me, because it's Sunday morning.
Oh, bro, take you a sip, bro.
If you want to subscribe, if you want to super chat, it is, of course, always appreciated. Now, as we said at the top today, the United States carried out its airstrike.
Ooh, look at that, boy. That shit like a Call of Duty mission. I know y'all remember that mission on Modern Warfare. Boy, these creators of these games be knowing some shit, don't it?
Against Iran in the middle of the night on Sunday, when America's B-2 bombers would have been no more visible to the naked eye than
Stealthy, the Northrop B-2 Spirit. Gonna lift your ass up to the heaven realms.
To Iranian air defenses. Those bombers were launched under a veil of secrecy some hours earlier, said to attack in clandestine fashion as a separate group of B-2s embarked on a highly visible
woo, nigga flying in your hood in that motherfucker, boy. You better start praying.
Journey from the US across the Pacific Ocean. The bombers that were traveling from the United States flew with their transponders on, meaning that their movements could be easily tracked by global open source intelligence and to other governments, meaning that as of now it appears that they were meant to serve as a diversion. The real attack was directed toward 3 Iranian...
So they done sent the decoys. Boy, these boys is gangster. We wasting our money on gangster shit. I wouldn't say wasting money, so I'm getting goddamn tech. Goddamn shit, goddamn. They sent the decoys, so just in case these ones get tracked, throw them all off.
Facilities, including 2 nuclear enrichment centers at Natanz and Fordo, respectively, and Isfahan uranium conversion facility, where powdered yellow cake uranium is converted into a form that can be used for enrichment.
Niggas out here playing with the uranium, ain't that big whipping? They whipping up the bomb material. Look at that bit in the middle of nowhere. Sheesh.
Deep underground, the enrichment facility at Fordo
appears
to have been the main target for the B-2s, which unleashed the combined power of 6 of America's most powerful bunker buster munitions. Now, those bombs, known as massive ordnance penetrators, weigh...
Look at that big motherfucker there, boy. Petting that bitch like a dog, boy. Good boy. You ready to go bomb Iran? Boy, I'm telling you, bro, America not the one to fuck with. I'm glad I'm on their side, bro. I'm glad they added the dash. African American, bro. Salute, bro. I know y'all got damn your shit.
30,000 pounds in total and have a 5,000 pound warhead.
Hey,
they
yo.
are designed to burrow deep through reinforced concrete in order to expose and destroy some of the most hardened bunkers in the world. With 6 of the massive...
Them boys dropping bullets in the earth, nigga. That shit crazy, boy. Shot a whole big ass bullet in the earth, bruh.
Penetrators used in the strike. At least 3 B-2s participated. The bomber is the only aircraft
that shit going fast as fuck,
currently carry those bombs, which only the United States possesses.
Them boys gangsters, bruh. Look at that. Yeah, I'm ready to go bomb. You ready, mom? You wanna go bomb? We're gonna go bomb them, right? God damn, boy. Look at them, boy. Them boy getting that check, boy. They getting that chin neck. Them boy rich as hell, boy. This plane big as fuck, gang. Stealth bomber, boy. You see this, bro? This shit, you don't want to see this. This might be your last moments. You see this flying in your radar.
Each bomber can carry 2 in its internal weapons base. Elsewhere near Iran, American submarines surfaced at a distance stated by news outlets to have been about 400 miles away from their targets, the Natanz and Isfahan facilities. Those submarines launched 30 subsonic cruise missiles known as the Tomahawk, each of which can carry a conventional explosive of up to 1,000 pounds. They're also able to carry nuclear warheads, but in this case, they clearly didn't. At the time of writing, it appears that the strikes on the 3 nuclear facilities were the extent of America's attack, with President Donald Trump confirming as much in an address to the nation.
Boy, your ass almost got assassinated, gang.
During that address, Trump made a few key...
These niggas is ready to die about that shit, boy. All them boys got that fire holding up under them. Boy, these niggas is well protected. These dudes are real mobsters. I love this shit.
First and foremost, that the United States
had, love mob movies?
Completely and totally obliterated its targets. Second, Trump indicated, at least for the time
being, we gonna feel this one, but goddamn,
the extent of the military action that the United States would take against Iran, in hopes that Iran would immediately engage in peace negotiations to end the ongoing conflict. And third, Trump threatened that if Iran doesn't negotiate a peace, or if it chooses to retaliate, the United States can and will engage in follow-up strikes. And as of the time of writing, no follow-up strikes have yet occurred. What we can learn. Alright, for the sake of our own production turnaround here at Warfront,
what can we learn?
We're gonna
niggas gonna die. That's what we gonna learn.
Of America's decision.
We gonna learn niggas gonna get bombed on, boy. Boom, 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 boom. Dropping them motherfucker like turd.
Other day. Instead, we're going to focus directly on the strikes themselves, their impacts, and what we can glean about what went down and why. The first thing to consider is America's prior signaling several days ago that Washington would...
Trump says he'll decide whether the U.S. will directly attack Iran within 2 weeks. Then text them motherfuckers the next morning. Gangster.
Carry out a strike, considering options for
shit,
2 weeks before making a decision. Now, in retrospect, that appears to have been little more than a charade, although notably, it does repeat the same elements of misdirection that allowed Israel to catch Iran by surprise with its first wave of strikes. Then, as now, Iran's opponents have sent clear signs and signals that they don't believe themselves to be ready to attack, before then attacking, basically, immediately. Now that, however, combines with reporting that the United States contacted Iran hours before the strike took place, notifying Tehran as well as Jerusalem about the strikes that were about to unfold. According to some American officials, quoted anonymously by the global press, Iran was able to evacuate the targeted facilities before the strike took place, although considering how badly...
W for that, you know what I'm saying? They like, nigga, they about to bomb this bit, bro. We ain't trying to kill nobody. If you don't want nobody to die, y'all need to get the fuck from around that bit. Shit, they got the fuck from around that bit, too.
diminished Iran's air defenses are at this stage, it's unlikely that stealth bombers flying under the cover of darkness could have been stopped,
Ooh, they
even
dropping
with
them
advance
motherfuckers
warning
off.
for Iran.
Bow, bow,
Regarding
bow,
the bomber
bow.
attacks at the Fordo facility, the use of so many bunker buster bombs suggests that there may have been some truth in prior concerns about bombs' ability to break through. The really important parts of the Fordo installation are believed to be several hundred meters underground, carefully insulated against aerial attack, and although America's massive ordnance penetrator is the premier conventional bunker buster in any Western arsenal, there are still limits to how far a single bomb can go. As a result, defense experts have suggested that early bombs might have to borrow part of the distance, blow open as much of the target as they can, and clear the way for successive bombs to burrow deeper and deeper, all with the help of precision guiding
they
technology.
trying to tear the earth
These
all
are
the way
weapons
up.
that Israel doesn't have and couldn't obtain. They had to be delivered by way of the US. As for whether or not these tactics were successful, it's difficult to say. Predictably, the United States has claimed complete destruction, while Iran...
Cap. Stop the cap. Huh, Iran? Here you go. That's what you on right now. Minor damage to the nuclear sites after the U.S. attack. No radiation. Yeah, I know somebody in denial when I see one.
claimed that most of the damage was surface level, but it's too early for either side to have completed a thorough damage assessment.
We'll
While either
spin
claim
that.
could technically be true, it's also
They telling us spin the block. We'll spin that.
entirely possible that if Fordo centrifuges survived, they're inaccessible due to tunnel collapses in the installation. Regarding the other two sites that were hit, the US has again claimed to have destroyed its targets, and that may be true in the case of the Natanz facility. But the facility at Isfahan is deep underground, where Tomahawk missiles alone are unlikely to have broken through completely. Some conflicting reports suggest that America's bunker busters were also used at those sites, although the truth isn't yet clear at the time of writing. It's also not clear whether Iran was able to
Will we
move
ever
any
know
of
the
its
truth?
enriched uranium or its centrifuge components in the event that the reports of Iran being notified in advance were accurate. If those three facilities have been destroyed, then the main implication would be that Iran's ability to produce new enriched uranium is disrupted for the long term. Unless Iran has other unknown enrichment facilities elsewhere, which isn't likely considering the apparent depth of penetration of Israeli intelligence across Iran's military apparatus, Iran now lacks the ability to enrich its existing uranium to weapons grade or to provide new uranium in a state suitable for enrichment. That disruption,
Bro, where they getting this
plus
shit
an
from?
Israeli strike on a heavy water reactor that could have been used to make
Niggas just popping up with uranium, just building uranium, bro. Where is they getting this shit from? Who is supplying uranium? Where? What the fuck? Where do you find that shit at, bro? They been peeling batteries apart. What the fuck they got going on?
plutonium when it eventually came online.
Niggas
would
in the
indicate
lab
that
cutting
Iran's
up
supply
batteries.
chain for weapons-grade material has been cut off at several points in ways that will be very difficult for Iran to undo.
Damn.
Just as important as
My boy
understanding
been talking
what's
spicy.
happened is understanding what comes next. The reason that the prospect of American strikes on Iran has gotten so much media coverage in the lead-up isn't simply because the world hungers for a display of American military might, but because for the world's premier superpower to get involved in this conflict directly opens up a wide range of possibilities on where this conflict could go, and very few of those possibilities are good. Based on the publicly expressed goals of America's leaders, a best case...
Boy, them niggas ready to... Probably none of them niggas, boy. They'd throw a punch for Trump. They'll take that bullet to the head. That shit still blows my mind. My man got felonies. This boy is probably the most gangster nigga we gonna ever see in life. He could do whatever the fuck he wanna do, and he's showing you. He going to war, niggas. He almost got popped in the head. Felonies. That boy damn near black, ain't it?
outcome for Washington would be one where Iran re-engages in peace talks and ultimately agrees to
That boy got
America's
the
terms
resume
for
of
a
a
deal.
black man.
That, however, doesn't seem entirely likely to happen. Iran's command and control structure has been in disarray, with leadership issues getting in the way of the prior attempt to negotiate a peace, and what the world has heard from Iran's leaders has not been encouraging. According to Iran, reprisals will be coming, and all American troops and other citizens in the Middle East will be viewed as acceptable targets. The United States and Israel both anticipate major retaliatory strikes and are taking precautions at the time of writing, with early reports indicating that 2 waves of missiles have already scored hits in several locations. As for what that retaliation will look like, it's assets located in the Middle East that are at greatest risk. At this stage in the war, Iran appears to lack the offensive capabilities that would enable a defeat of Israel. But not being able to defeat Israel isn't the same as not being able to hurt Israel, and Iran does appear capable of doing the latter. According to Israeli defense sources, the country's stocks of available interceptors are running low. Iran has recent experience coordinating large-scale missile and drone strikes that can overwhelm those air defenses for a short period of time.
They turning this shit to a real deal map. This shit is like Modern Warfare 2. Is we
While
in a simulation?
Iran has lost some of its missile launch capabilities, it's still been able to launch missiles in significant numbers, and it may have been able to hold some capabilities in reserve.
They just having an all-out
when those hard-hitting ballistic missiles
sky
are combined with the masses of hundreds or even thousands of kamikaze drones in waves Iran hasn't yet unleashed, they still have the ability to deliver real damage to Israel, even if Israel is all but guaranteed to endure and strike back in kind. The same calculus holds basically true for American assets in the region, at least in broad strokes. As for an attack on the American homeland, that's a bit less likely.
Hell no, they ain't doing that.
Iran.
Boy, they try to attack this, they better pray to whoever they believe in. Because we got so much defense. It's crazy. You think we on the offense. Let somebody try to attack America. Good luck.
The snark
niggas been planning them attacks for years
now onto American soil, but even though a successful attack of that size would come with major psychological effects for the US, the impact on America's warfighting ability would be negligible. Beyond an immediate retaliation, Iran could also expand its response in a few different ways. One option would be to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is critical for worldwide shipping and would lead to global economic fallout.
Well, Future said, if you like that, show me that you like that. Shut some shit down then, if y'all gangster.
Could do that with an official announcement of a blockade, hoping other nations respond, or it could strike maritime shipping traffic outright using drones or missiles similar to the Houthi rebels in Yemen.
Show me that you like that.
Iran's proxy allies across the Middle East have threatened a direct response if the US gets involved, including the Houthis, Hezbollah, and a major militia group called Kataib Hezbollah. While the latter 2 groups may or may not choose to act on their pledge, some degree of participation from the Houthis should be expected, perhaps restarting their own long-range campaign against Red Sea shipping.
They got gangs riding for them,
y'all better retaliate. Rather than coming back to the negotiating table, the nation's leaders may feel that they're in a position to pick their poison rather than assuming that their regime will survive. Ayatollah Khomeini has reportedly chosen several potential successors and has been rapidly deputizing new military leaders as the old ones will wipe.
Boy, this is straight out of Call of Duty. This is crazy. They is gonna get you, boy. They gonna get you. I'm sorry.
Out. Khomeini, who by some reports is still sick with cancer, appears to be well aware that he might not survive this conflict, and even if he does, peace with Israel would come with its own problems. Iran's regime is known to be in a rough spot, bitterly opposed by much of the public who would like to see them.
So this man just fucking up shit before he about to die is what I'm getting out of it. Man, bruh, go ahead and turn that shit over, bruh. Let somebody else run that shit, bruh. You probably might be doing the best job, bruh. Ain't nobody gonna do better, but ain't no lie, bruh.
Reformed. But a truce with Israel, especially if Iran doesn't retaliate after taking heavy losses, would likely outrage the hardliners that the regime depends on for its survival. So, from the perspective of the Iranian regime, is the least worst option to stand aside, let Israel win, or is the least worst option to begin a retaliatory cycle and see whether some off-ramp might emerge where the regime can save a bit of face? As we end today's episode and turn our attention toward what comes next, it's worth taking...
We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran.
To answer one final question. Is this World War III? Now, privately, we're all friends have made a habit of knocking on all the available wood before we consider big questions like this, so please join us in doing that. But no, This isn't World War III, at least not for now. At this stage, the crisis in the Middle East is still several orders of magnitude short of a world war, and the warning signs that this could metastasize into that sort of conflict are just not popping up yet. Although it can hurt Israel and the United States in the short term, Iran just doesn't have the military resources to wage a protracted war by itself. And while its proxy forces may get involved in the conflict, there are currently no indicators that a more powerful nation would enter the conflict on Iran's side. China simply doesn't care that much. Russia's in no position to open up a second and much larger front that it's working with in Ukraine. Pakistan and India are far too focused on each other, and there's not really anybody else to account for. However this plays out, it's not World War III.
See, we got that shit that's gonna dig in your motherfucking ground, fuck your shit up, bruh. Y'all need to get y'all missile game up, Iran. Y'all don't want to go with war. That's number one. Got that motherfucker on lock, nigga. Everybody in the military. Y'all stay by a military base. Them niggas about to get to work on y'all ass. We got some young niggas, you feel what I'm saying? We recruit all the YNs, all the switches. Niggas who got locked up with a switch getting let free. They getting pardoned. Trump gonna pardon them. And they gonna come through with the Drakes, come through with the FNNs. Goddamn SIGs, M16s with the button on them motherfuckers and switch air shit down. Y'all wanna play?
And again, it's not going to be. What it is one of the defining crises of the 20s.
We ain't in World War III yet, but we dropping bombs on motherfuckers in that motherfucker stealth motherfucker, you know what I'm talking about? That's the video. That's war fronts. Trump on some gangster shit, politicians on some gangster shit. That's what's going on, man. If you didn't know, if y'all want to stay in tune, stay tapped in. Warfronts got that shit. You know what I'm saying? Chill Life of Zoe gonna react to it. Bro. Appreciate y'all for watching if you stayed this far. I am out. Peace.